Hello, welcome to hashtag Street Style Podcast. It's Wednesday, May 19, 2021. And joining me today is my co-host and Latin America brother, mi gente, Aldo de Canis. Also joining me today is Moez, my Pakistani brother from the land of the fish and chips, straight from London. Today we're going to be talking about social issues and social media and how do we use our channels in order to convey social issues such as politics or pop culture or even conflicts. Let me bring in my friends. Aldo, welcome to the show. Hope you guys are doing very well. I don't know if you guys had a fun weekend. You guys want to talk about it? Bo, you want to start? Seems like Bo is very eager to talk.
What did I do? I don't even remember what I did this weekend,
I saw your social media posting somewhere.
What was I doing? I actually can't remember.
Okay, so
my friend came on Sunday. And I saw my friends on Saturday. That's it.
Okay. That was it? Friday?
I mean I'm not really working that much these days, so like every day is the weekend for me at the moment.
I like that.
So
Aldo, you want to tell us what you did?
For me, it was very relaxed. Well, I helped Gladys with the store. She was there all the weekend, so I was there a couple of hours.
Who's
and
Gladys, by the way? Everybody know who's Gladys?
Oh, Gladys is my girlfriend.
Oh,
she has a concept store. She has a concept store in Mexico, so it's very cool.
Shout out to Stendhal.
So I was there. Stendhal, yeah, Stendhal store. Follow them on Instagram.
Okay.
And that was my weekend.
Okay, that's pretty good. This past weekend, I took a flight for the first time. I went to New York to visit my mom and my brother. I haven't seen them since February of last year. Basically, the last time I was there for Fashion Week. And weather was nice. Weather was very nice in New York. A lot of people were outside. And actually, when I was boarding the plane, is when the CDC announced that you no longer have to wear a mask inside or outside, or with people that have been vaccinated. You no longer have to wear a mask if you're vaccinated. I'm sure that's clear for everybody. So yeah, I mean, it was very interesting because a lot of people were out, but a lot of people wearing masks, which is okay and good. Stay safe. And on the plane and the airport, everybody was wearing a mask. So that was like a mandate. So it was very good to be in New York. It looks a little bit different. But yeah, I just went there to relax for a few days because the next few months are going to be very life-changing, especially 2 months where we're expecting a little baby.
Why? What's happening?
Sarah and we're having a baby. I don't think she hasn't announced the sex of the baby, but yeah, I mean, I'm very excited. I wish I can show you guys some video. Maybe I'll keep it for the next few episodes of our ultrasound. But yeah, Mo, you want to take it away? Mo is going to be conducting today. This episode is very, 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 very good. I think that I want everybody to. I wish everybody was here participating, but of course, if you're watching this video later, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel and leave us your comments on the topic that we'll be discussing today. Take it away.
Okay, well, this is my first attempt at hosting a podcast, so bear with me and forgive me if it's not so smooth. But yeah, I figured it's a very topical thing to discuss, and that is the general subject of speaking out on your social media platforms against. It could be anything, not just politics. It could be cancel culture, or if you were canceling a brand or a photographer or whatever. So just the idea of speaking out against that. So I guess we can kind of start with a blanket question, which is, do you even think that it's people's responsibility to use their platforms to talk about social issues, or do we just leave that to the experts and we focus on what we're good at?
I think
So, Jose, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I think that we should be outspoken. I think that it shouldn't be an issue of using my platform to talk about social issues. And you know, if you risk a job or maybe a relationship, maybe it's showing the true colors of like maybe you shouldn't be working with those people. Maybe they don't have the same beliefs, especially when it's something very, you know, I don't think it's polarizing, depending on the subject as well. Because you know, if it's like, I don't know, let's say Trump versus Biden, okay, that's a little bit polarizing, but I don't think it's like life changing. But if something like Black Lives Matter, or like something that is very big, like Palestine and Israel, maybe that's something that is like very clear, like what's going on. And I don't think that should have an issue or should have an impact on your job. Because at the end of the day, if I'm just creating for a brand or a designer, I think that shouldn't matter what my opinion is when it comes to those social issues, social differences. Does that make sense? Oh, Aldo?
Yeah, it's very hard because sometimes you don't think who is gonna watch you, or if a lot of people watch your post and you don't know the real impact you have. So I think sometimes it's hard if you don't talk of, or if you talk about the problems. I think it's more what is your beliefs, or what are you are thinking, or what are you gonna do or help, or something like that. It's a very, very particular part of the social media.
Well, are you do you get worried then that, like Jose, you know, you said we should be able to, so being able to is one thing, but do you ever worry that you could annoy a client or lose a job or lose a relationship? And I know you said they show their true colors, but obviously, you know, what if it happens to quite a few clients? Then you risk losing a lot. So how do you find the balance, you know?
Yeah, well, like I said, you have to find the I wouldn't say the balance, but you need to be, how can I say, you need to be smart about what kind of polarizing subject are you talking about. So to me, it's like politics, for example. When it comes to like here in the United States, I can say, hey, I like Bernie, and I'm not big of a fan, or I'm not a fan, I don't really like Trump. That shouldn't affect me, or that shouldn't affect my relationship with someone. Hey, you're a Trump believer, or you voted for Trump, that's your candidate, fantastic. There's a lot of millions of people here in the United States. But when it comes to bigger subjects or bigger topics, maybe religion is a very tough one, and I think that's what's happening right now with Palestine and Israel. Even if that's so polarizing, I don't think it shouldn't be a problem of you saying, hey, what the IDF is doing is not right, you know. And you're not like doing it yourself. It's like you're killing people or doing that. You're just calling out the obvious. And again, that shouldn't be a problem. Does that make sense, right?
Yeah, it shouldn't be, but
shouldn't be.
Like,
but if it is, then
it can be. Yeah, yeah. Like, so would you worry? Like, do you not do it then, or
no?
You know,
I don't think you should worry about it. I don't think so. Uh-oh.
Hello?
Sorry, I kind of lost connection for a second.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
You were saying I don't think.
I don't think.
Cut off.
Sorry, I don't think you should lose a relationship because of that. Like if a brand said, "Oh, Jose, you were outspoken about this issue, or you were never Trumper or whatever," I don't think a brand will do that, and it would be unprofessional from them.
Well, they wouldn't do it outright, but they just maybe wouldn't come back to you. You know, like
yeah.
I've been quite vocal on my platform about the current Israel-Palestine issue, and I know people within the industry have unfollowed me, you know, so to me that kind of indicates like I'm probably not going to get their business again, you know.
Yeah.
So, but you know, so I am effectively losing potential work there by speaking out. So whether that's right or wrong, it happens.
Yeah.
And so I guess it's like, do I now stop speaking out? Do I stop saying anything because I could end up with no clients?
No, I mean, again, I don't think so, because there'll be other clients, and then people are, nowadays we live in a digital age that people move on very quickly, and I don't think that people will probably hold a grudge for so long against you for being outspoken about, you know, war crimes.
What about you, Aldo?
It's really hard to talk about your ideas and you lose followers or you lose clients. I think it's hard because you don't know what to do, because you want to expose to all the people what you think, and you believe in special things. You can do it because you're gonna lose something that it's not about you, it's about the situation. So it's really hard because sometimes you want to expose more things about this kind of problems, especially now in Palestine or in Latin America. In Latin America, we are having a lot of trouble, and we don't know what to do.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think I kind of going back to the first question a little bit about, I think if you have a platform and you've been vocal in the past about certain issues, you know, like if you've done it once before and you say that you're like a human rights advocate or whatever, then I think you have to be consistent if you decided to use your platform for that. And personally, I think if you have a big platform and you're in a space that is somehow tied to a political issue, if the industry you're in is benefiting from that conflict or not, you know, whatever, it's got some tie to it, then I think if you have a platform, you should use it to speak out. But I know that's quite a controversial opinion, because that you kind of go down the whole line of, oh, well, you shouldn't force people into talking about things if they don't want to. So yeah, I don't know.
Or sometimes your followers don't want to watch more about that stuff, because all the news or all the blogs are talking about that, and they want you to talk about another thing just to get something different. And I don't know, it's really hard.
I think that
because we need to raise our voice, so, and we are like a canal for that too. Sometimes people are expecting to show what's going on.
Yeah, I think that we need to, the people don't understand that, like, Instagram, yes, is a professional channel, but do you think that you view your Instagram as your professional site or professional how can I say, outlet, or do you view Instagram as your personal outlet? Because I know somebody over here doesn't have a website, but you know. I'm kidding, Mo. I'm kidding. So again, like, you know, my Instagram, I post a lot of, like, I mean, like maybe 5% of my Instagram is personal. I would say 2%, 3%. I barely post like myself or anything like that. But when it comes to at the end of the day, we have a voice. It's a person behind the Instagram account, and it's not like just photos of my work and video, blah blah blah. But how do you see your Instagram yourself? Your Instagram is the personal or professional?
I see mine is just a mix of both. It started out as personal, and then because I never planned on doing what I do now, I just started posting my personal work on my personal page, and my personal work ended up becoming my professional work. So my personal page grew like that, and it's now professional. But I post a lot of personal stuff on there.
Yeah.
So I think it depends on how you made your account as well, because some people, they make an Instagram account purely for the purpose of, this is my photography page, it's only professional, and it starts like that. I think then, adding personal stuff there, talking about politics there is slightly different, but at the end of the day, it's like you said, there is a person behind the account, right? So
Yeah.
people want brands that have values and opinions and character to them, that they don't want like a robotic Instagram page that has no character to it.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. But it's like how you say it. Is it your personal accounts or is it your professional Instagram? But at the end of the day, I think it's your account. You can just post whatever you want and use it however you want it. Right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, okay, I guess this can kind of take us to our next question, which is about brands taking public stances. How, like, do you care? Or do you notice it when a brand takes a stance against something relating to politics, especially, or some kind of issue that's in current media, whether it's a debate or a problem or whatever? Or do you think that brands should just not try and get involved?
Sorry.
I think sometimes it's good. It's good that the brands get involved about these kind of topics, especially when they have they are part of it. Sometimes I think they just want to sell with that problem or with that issue. I don't like that kind of brands that use the problem to sell. If the brand,
so
they want that clout.
you want it to be like genuine. They genuinely care about the issue.
Yeah, if they care about the issue, it's good. It's really good because you can talk about problems, and it's not just sell. You are showing this human part of the brand.
Yeah, I mean, if the brand talks and it's outspoken, I think it's reinforced the social issue, whatever is happening. It's not only real, but it put pressure on on the politicians or the person who's at fault or the organization that's at fault to fix the issue. So I don't condemn, though. I don't say anything bad about the brand, even though some brands are and not to put this example again with Trump, but some brands could say they're supporter of Trump or stuff like that, and that's when the whole cancel culture takes over and say okay, we're not gonna shop from this place anymore. But they have to. That's the gamble that the brands are willing to take, or maybe the owner of the brand is, does that. I mean, the one that I can remember is very recent, and like I said before, people move on very quick. Is the whole thing with Dolce & Gabbana, where the designer was very racist against Asian people. So again, how quick we moved on from that, and everything is back to holding hands with Dolce & Gabbana.
Yeah, it's definitely, I mean, that's what we were saying, how effective is cancel culture at the moment. It's usually just the moment. And then, I mean, there are some, I know we know there's one photographer in our industry, in our space specifically, who's been cancelled, and hopefully it stays that way. But I've seen with bigger photographers like Mario Testino and Bruce Weber, who have both faced a number of accusations. They got cancelled very briefly, but both of them are working now, and working with brands, working with big models.
Is that the new?
People forget very quick.
The news cycle is so quick, and everything moves so quick. People will move on so quick that it's hard to retain some information. You kind of moving on to the next thing, and people are only reading the headlines, and they don't really, get the context of what's happening.
But I do think that it's people do move on, but I do think that what's been happening lately with more and more people speaking out on social media and collective action, I do think that even though we move on quickly, that seems to work in some cases. Like we've seen the results of like on like people posting enough on social media that governing bodies or organizations, they'll change something they're doing because there's been a lot of pressure coming online. So I think it can work, because a lot of people often say like, oh, what is me posting on my social media going to do? But I guess they don't realize, you know, when thousands, maybe millions of people are all publicizing something, you're going to have to act.
It works.
Okay.
Are you? Would you not work with a brand if, like, okay, a brand comes to you and they're like, okay, we've got this job for you, and the fee is $30,000, right? And it's for 1 day's work, and like the deliverables are super basic.
3 hours.
Yeah, it's like super easy stuff, and then you find out that the brand has ties to Trump.
Okay.
Or they've donated to his campaign. They fund, you know, they've done. What do you do in that case? You know, or do you
take the job and donate 1,000 to the opposing candidate? I'm kidding. No, I mean, like I said, like the Trump situation is like very easy to, like, we shouldn't be so polarizing. Like, okay, you like Trump, fantastic. I can only change your views. I can only say like, look, Trump supports this other candidate supports this, here's your choice. You still like Trump, fine, fantastic. I can't do anything about that. And again, like, you know, Trump is an issue that can go away in 4 months, even though, like, for example, you know, the Supreme Court can overturn Roe v. Wade, and there's a consequence that happens if the other politician wins and blah, blah, blah. But you have to think about it. It's not like super life and death. So it depends on the social politic issue instead of, hey, I'm not going to work with them because of X, Y, Z. However, it also depends on your current status of like, oh man, do I have a job right now? Or I need to take this because otherwise I won't be able to afford rent next week or next month.
Well, in my case, I think maybe I reject if they are against Latinos, because all the work I have and all my clients are from Latin America, so it's not like doing things that it's not in the same ideas with me and with all the people that follows me, because I'm always supporting Latin people, Latin brands, Latin talent. So it's not a brand it's against Latinos. I don't feel very, very, very comfortable getting that job.
Okay, I guess, I mean, yeah, I think, and then it's interesting to think as well, what do you do when you say, let's say you say no to this job, right, $30,000 job, do you then like publicize it because you need people to know that like I am actually taking this action, I'm not just talking about it? Or is it weird to say like, oh, I rejected a job today because they supported Trump, and you know, like, because doing that in silence is like all well and good, but at the same time people need to know like you're actually doing that, then they'll feel empowered to do the same themselves.
If you're rejecting $30,000, you have to talk about that you are supporting your people or your ideas, or that you are strong with your ideas.
Also, if you think about it, if you're like very outspoken about who your candidate or who you support on social media, do you think a brand that is very supportive of Trump will reach out to you and be like, hey, I want you to work? So the chances are very slim that they will contact you. So maybe it wouldn't work.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, what about
Okay.
now?
Let's change. It's not the brand. Trump hire you. You get the job?
Hell no.
$1 million.
What? I mean, it was $1 million, and
Yeah,
nobody
it's
ever
different.
knew I did the job. Yeah.
And now you have to tag him.
You had to take a picture with Trump and a bag of hat.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I would do that for $1 billion. That's my ceiling.
A billion. He
That's
doesn't
your
have it,
rating.
but a billion is a lot.
Yeah, but I would do it for $1 billion. I would sell everyone out for $1 billion. Yeah.
Whew. Tough.
Okay, let's change it to a less. Okay, Trump is like too polarizing, too obvious. Change it to something smaller, like a brand approaches you. Okay, I'll give you an example of something that I recently rejected. Was Canada Goose wanted to gift me a jacket for Fashion Weeks. And they wanted me to wear it and promote it, do a few stories, but I didn't have to do a huge amount, but they just wanted me to. And so I said no to them because of their animal cruelty practices.
Yeah.
This is about a year and a half ago or so, maybe 2 years now. So for me, like, even if it's a small thing, another example is I rejected a job that was like, it was a fur brand, but it was like that really high-end fur that is just like, this definitely required a lot of animals to make, like, but the job would have paid enough money that I could have paid my rent for 6 months.
You said no.
I said no to it. So what do you do in situations like that? Like smaller, not obvious brands, not big. It's just you and the brand and their thing,
It's tough. Like I said, like if you sometimes you really need it, and we live in a world that capitalism won't allow you to fall back into, like, how can I say, like, yeah, oh man, I wish I can have this job. I wish I can land this position so I can pay off a lot of stuff. But the way that the world works right now is like almost against you, and you have to just bend the knee. Again, if it's in my position right now and a brand comes to me and the brand is not ethical, I might have to let it slide because I'm in a position that I can't afford just to say no to certain things. But if it's in a different time of year that, hey, I'm okay, I can say no, then without a doubt, I would just say I can't do it. Or it's like if you're vegan and a leather company comes to you and be like, hey, can you shoe our leather bags? And you're like, maybe not. But, that's your lifestyle. Or, I mean, I don't want to say it's a lifestyle, but that's how you feel. So, chill out, Jose. I'm about to get canceled.
Yeah, we just.
I don't know. Maybe it's hard to decide the things, but I think I'm agree with you, Mo, that you don't accept the job because you don't. It's more about how are you gonna feel after you work with that. It's more okay. I don't feeling very well doing this. It's about you. It's about okay. I finished this work and now I feel good, or I don't feel like very comfortable doing this. So okay, I don't get it. No, it's not about money. It's about your ideals.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, that being said, like to Jose's point, so I've said no to those two jobs, but then a few weeks ago I took on a job that I did not want to do at all. It was shooting an individual who I was not very fond of, in terms of their ideals and values and beliefs did not align with mine at all. But I took the job because I was in a position where I hadn't worked for a year almost, and the money wasn't great, but the PR value, the perceived PR value at the time, was that this will be really good for me. So I took it on, and the PR value, nothing happened. So it was a flop. But but yeah, I didn't feel great about it afterwards. And then but I was lucky that when I reshared the images on my account, on my stories, I think people knew like that it was a PR job, which I was like I liked. People knew like I wasn't just selling out or whatever. They knew like, okay, he's obviously just done this for that reason. So I was comfortable with that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was having a problem with my
yeah, no, I'm sorry. I'm
microphone.
just seeing the chat now.
Like,
Yeah, my microphone is a little bit messed up. It's hot. It's hot.
oh,
Okay, wait, Jose, are you done? Is your microphone fixed now?
Yeah, it should be fixed. I was having some bad interference here in my connection since I have like the
you're back.
central station of crazy internet here, so trying to handle everything.
Okay, so I think going back to like kind of cancel culture and working with brands that we don't necessarily agree with. You know, what do you do when a brand has been like, I'm trying to think of a brand recently that's kind of maybe like Alexander Wang, right? Like the other side of cancel culture is we've canceled him, right? But what about the people that work there they didn't do anything wrong? The other designers who were making a career as designers, you know, by designing great clothes, working there under his name. So, but if you cancel him and the brand gets shut down because he got canceled, you're impacting other people. So it's I've always found that to be like a very gray area and a very difficult area to decide how to like operate in. So I'll be curious to hear like how you guys feel about like Dolce and Gabbana.
yeah, it's a very
but you know.
Yeah, it's a very thin line because if you cancel them, a lot of people depends on that brand or on that designer. So it's super hard to cancel just for okay, because all the team and all the manufacturers and all the people that depends of that brand, the brands do a lot of work. So it's, I don't want to say unfair, but I don't want to. I don't have the right word to describe that.
Well, did you see I think is it Kendall Jenner or Kylie, one of them, they launched the tequila brand and there was a lot of uproar about that. You haven't seen it?
No, I haven't seen it, man.
Yeah, I
I'm
have.
so deep on.
Although you have, right? It's called
Yeah,
818 Drink or something like that.
Yeah, it's a tequila.
So it
a lot
just
of
launched
people
now,
start
and there's a
talking
lot
about
of,
that.
yeah, basically like, oh, you're not Mexican, like you're taking away from, you're basically getting their product that they're making there and then rebranding it, marketing it and selling it for like, and they're probably not getting paid that much. So everyone was like, cancel the brand. But then do the factories in Mexico who are making money from this, do they care about that? So, you know, they're making money.
I don't think they care. They are making money, and I think it's not so bad if somebody want to come and make tequila and sell it because you are giving some works and you are helping to the manufacturer that make the distilleria that make the tequila, and maybe you are exposing more tequila in the world, and some brands of Mexico or local brands can world can look to Mexico about tequila because Kylie or sell tequila. So it's like a 50-50. It's different points of view, and I don't see it all bad because maybe you are helping to the industry, but you are not Mexican and you are selling tequila, and it's weird. It's very confused.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. It's just literally just off the top of my head now. It would have been really nice if like Kendall or whoever it was maybe got like a Mexican face for the brand. You know, like
Exactly.
took
You
somebody
can do
like,
it
and then
right
yeah,
away, and you talk with a Mexican influencer or actress or director or whatever, and
yeah,
start collaborating and give to the brand more Mexican feeling, and people don't
yeah.
get bad.
Jose, you're
Sorry,
uh,
sorry, I was trying to be muted, so I have to do some research here. I was looking at this article about, like, Valley Dwellers find Kendall Jenner's A18 tequila branding less than endearing. It's basically like, there's a good tweet here, says Kendall Jenner starting a tequila brand with zero knowledge on Mexican culture and calling it A18 tequila is gentrification. The A18 does not claim calabazas. What about those smaller family-owned tequila mezcal brands? They deserve the hype and support. And here somebody says you shouldn't buy celebrity-owned tequilas. There's a LA bartender say these tequilas are killing the industry. They just reach out to the factory. The factory sends out sample that they have. They put their name on it and the bottles and market and whatever price they think it will sell. And that, I think that is true. That's basically like there's another tequila brand owned by the husband of an influencer. I don't know if you guys are aware of that, or co-own.
yeah, I know
Oh,
what
you
you're
wanna
talking about.
Join.
Should I name it?
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, it's just
I actually don't know how to pronounce it. Is it Jaja, right?
haha.
Is it haha, right?
Yeah, yeah. Oh wow, look, Jalisco, Mexico. So nice. Oh my god, I have to put an H for this? Oh, I don't know, like 01.
That's normal, I think, for all alcohol websites.
88?
Oh, you show us all your age. You show us all your age.
Yeah, no, that's definitely my age. Just
1926.
let's put 90, 80. Wow, look how fancy it is. But this is also owned by Fuck Jerry people.
Yeah.
Let me see if it's in here. Man, they made it so difficult. Like, oh, look, Instagram, whatever. Of course, they won that clout. Doesn't have much. Wow. Yeah.
I was
Anyway,
wondering, does anyone buy these things? Does anyone buy T-shirts from the brand? Like,
I don't know. I really don't know.
why would you buy it? I'm just thinking of the thought process. Like, my favorite tequila brand. What do I need next? T-shirts.
My T-shirt.
What's funny? What's funny is like
it's T-shirt.
it's sold out. Like, oh, the Jenga thing is sold out. This patch is sold out.
But yeah, they say sold out. Maybe they had 2 for sale, and then they said, okay, you buy one and you buy one. Now we can say sold out.
Hey, I mean, some brands want to have that sold out thing, so they can say like, oh, it sold out so quick, you should get it now, and blah blah blah.
People fake that stuff. My friend had an e-commerce website, and he had all sorts of fake stuff like that on there. Like, 10 other people are viewing this product right now.
Please,
There wasn't 10 people viewing the product.
shop now.
Customer support. Customer support. It's like 12 people in the queue. There's no one in the queue. You just made it look like there were people in the queue.
Insane.
And then every agent had a different name, but he was all of them. It was just him. So,
It's crazy.
you know,
But yeah, I mean, celebrity items like that, I don't think that you should fall for it. I mean, I know a lot of people have it. Like Ciroc is by P. Diddy, and I actually like Ciroc, but I don't think so. I don't think you should fall for that. What else you got, Mo?
Don't think so. You buy
You buying the name,
the product, or
not the product? Like the guy was saying, like, you shouldn't buy it because this is why they do that. But I guess it also depends on the product itself, if that makes sense.
if it's a good tequila, you don't buy that tequila because it's $10 tequila.
No, I mean, I grew up in the Dominican Republic, and we drink rum, and the rum is very cheap over there. So I think that some of that cheap rum is really good. What the person on the article was saying is like, oh, you shouldn't buy those tequila from celebrities own tequila, or like somebody who just slaps their name and just sell it, like Trump Steaks. I think it was one of them. That's what the person was saying. Do I agree with that statement? Depends. Yeah, for the most part, I don't think that there's a benefit of buying, celebrity items. And again, it depends on the quality and who's producing it and how it's being produced. It's the same thing with like, do you buy fast fashion and knowing how it's made or who's making them overseas? Wow.
I'm not gonna. I still buy T-shirts from fast fashion brands.
Yeah.
Like as in like these like black T-shirts.
Yeah, like basics. Yeah, I know.
Basics, yeah.
It's a tough world.
Everybody buys fast fashion.
Sorry.
It's a tough world.
Everybody buys fast fashion.
Yeah.
Mo, I know you have a very good question, and I want you to say this out.
The final question, kind of more back to the original topic, which is, can you be friends with somebody who has opposing political beliefs to yours? And the reason that I wanted to ask this question is because, I've always personally been very outspoken about politics, whether it's within friendship groups or even in professional settings or on my Instagram. Like, I'll say what I believe or think. And then I see some other people I follow or know or friends who post their beliefs. So with the latest Israel-Palestine, I've been seeing a lot of people that I'm like, I don't know if I can. I don't know if I want to be friends with this person anymore because of what they're saying about the current conflict. But then I feel like, that maybe that's childish to like think that, and maybe we have to be adults. But this is back and forth, so it's like where's the line basically? So I have a feeling Jose's probably got a meme for us for this. And if he doesn't, then there is a perfect one for it. So I'll let him answer this first.
Oh no, I actually don't have a meme for it. I think you can be friends. I have friends and maybe family members that don't want to take the vaccine, for example. And I think that's very, I'm gonna say disappointing. But I think that if you educate them and you say, hey, this is what you should do, you can only try. There's a family member from 2015 who's like, oh, I'm voting for Trump, blah 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 blah, and I was like, okay, black delete, bye. Don't need to hear this anymore. But I don't know. I think if there is some sort of like, how can you say, if the person is understanding of the issue or the matter of like the differences, and is respectful of your opinion and you're respectful of their opinion, I think that you can have a friendship or even a relationship, as long as that doesn't create like a big tension and it doesn't like cause a lot of everyday problems.
But it's hard, no? It's
some
hard.
of the things that are very polarizing, like the whole idea of, the Israel-Palestine, that is very difficult because you're talking about life and death. We're not talking about just politics or like, vegan versus somebody who just wants to eat steak every day.
I've already had 3 casualties from
Whoa.
one from the industry. So there's one industry person who has unfollowed me, and I had exchanged a dialogue with them about the whole conflict and what I was posting and what they were posting.
Yeah.
Somebody you both know. And then another person.
I want to see it. Privately, you need to send me this, but go on, continue.
And then another person is a very senior person at a very large PR firm.
So
I've had like, because I tried to do like the civil dialogue thing, right?
Yeah.
And I think there's some people that you have to acknowledge.
Let me ask something.
Yeah.
That people that you're talking, it's not from the same part where you are. They are from another place, or they are from.
So
Past.
one of them is I didn't know this, but I think ethnically originally their family is from Israel.
Okay.
But the person in question is French. So I don't know if they're Jewish from Israel or if they're from Israel, like maybe way back, like the roots. I'm not 100% sure. So that's probably why there was a bit of a clash. The other person is English, Jewish English. I don't know the right way around. But not Israeli. So different, very different to me. But yeah, I
Because
mean,
sometimes they don't understand the real problem. No, they just think just like what they read, or they don't know the real problem or the real life, how we live that kind of troubles. Talking about these problems in Israel, or talking about what's going on in Latin America, because we live every day these problems. And maybe people in my case in Latin America, people from other countries can talk about it, but they don't really know what we live day by day. So it's totally different.
yeah.
If you just read the news, but you don't know what's going on the streets.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's very Some people like how do you know? It's like some people will say, "Oh, I understand. I know everything about it," but like they think they know everything about it, but they actually probably know nothing about it, or they've completely misunderstood
Exactly.
it. But in their mind, they think so. There's some people that after about 2 minutes, you can tell, okay, this conversation will not go anywhere because I'm not going to change their mind and they're not going to change my mind. So those people, I just leave. Then there's one of the people in question that I mentioned. I said, I'd like to have a civilized discussion about this, and we did, and we were just so far apart in our views that I was just like, like I don't really I don't want to continue this conversation, but B, like I was so put off by the person, and I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but I'm just saying like how I felt. And so now I'm like, I can't even fight that thing, right? So like I don't want to be friends with certain people now because of this. And I don't know, like is that crazy, or some people are like, oh, you need to be more mature, grow up, but I don't know. I'd be so interested to know how other people are handling something like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Go ahead, Aldo.
and it's very interesting because in different countries you live different and you think about it different. In this case of, let me talk about this example, the Women's Day. Women's Day in Europe or in America are totally different than Latin America. Latin American women are talking about rights, and for Latin woman, it's not like, oh, happy Women's Day, blah blah blah. No. Here it's like we are raising our boys because some people is killing these women, or different things. It's totally different in some places than the others, so it's very hard to understand all these things.
Yeah, so what I was thinking, like I agree with what Mo says, that it's very difficult to form some sort of friendship with people who are anchored on their side, and there's no middle ground for them to understand your point of view. The only thing that you can do at that point is totally agree to disagree, and sometimes the message that I'm trying to get across when it's something that is very polarizing is for them to understand my point of view and understand the issue that is on hand. Like, look, do you agree with IDF killing people? Yes or no? do you agree? Like, do you condemn these things? Yes or no? Then, if you do, why are you supporting this? So, if you treat it like that and have them understanding your point of view, maybe there's a middle ground. But sometimes it's hard to get them to come to an understanding or to come to their senses. The whole thing with the Trump and the media, sorry, the whole thing, for example, with the whole Trump and like even the Palestine and the Israel, is that the media are not reporting, so that's driving people more apart. So if they're reporting correctly what's happening and educate the people or the conflict or how things were in the past, then people can say, okay, yes, what's happening right now is totally wrong. But they think it's like, no, they need to defend themselves. And, it's right. It's really messed up. And I mean, the topic is so big when it comes to all this different scenario. And for you, Mo, to say like, it's very demoralizing to have a conversation with people who are stuck or they wouldn't.
Yeah, and you feel like, am I crazy to unfriend somebody because we have different political beliefs? But for me, like it ties into personal values and beliefs as well, that what you're okay with and what you're not okay with, that forms your political beliefs. So I think they're linked. I don't. Some people are very good at separating politics from just that person as a friend. I have an example of there's a big menswear influencer in New York who is very, very, very pro-Israel, and I would argue borderline anti-Palestine. And he's been posting some, from like very Zionist accounts, like very pro-IDF, very pro-Israel government. And he's been sharing a lot of stuff from these accounts, saying whatever. And so he posted a video the other day where he said, this is a video from like a proud Muslim Palestinian where she's saying the truth that, the Palestinians are lying to you, something crazy like that. And then it was a 17-minute video. So he posted 2 clips and then he did a link and said, watch the rest of it here. So I went and watched it. And this woman was a total nutcase. Like, she was one of those former Muslims who was like, I am now on the righteous path to rescue everybody from the darkness of Islam. Like, these like complete like psychos. And she was saying in her video that, when Muslims pray 5 times a day, they're praying for the death of Jews. Like, and it was basically in these crazy, crazy things. So I messaged the guy and I was like, look, I can tell from your profile, you and I are not going to have a productive conversation. We will most likely never agree on anything. But you can't post Islamophobic stuff like this. Like, you're endorsing an Islamophobic view, and that's just dangerous. You're saying that everybody who's pro-Palestine is inciting anti-Semitic hatred, so you're doing the same now. So he hasn't replied, but I thought like it was kind of like a watershed moment that maybe you could find like a middle ground. Like, okay, I know we'll never agree on these 2 things, but here are some things that we should agree on that you just are out of bounds. Like, don't go there. You can't get into that. And I even messaged a friend of that guy's. I was in on a bit of a rampage that morning because I went on his profile and I'm like, okay, who's liking his posts about this stuff? And then I found like 2 friends that I knew and I DM'd them and I was like, you need to talk to this guy. And one of them was just like, he's so far gone that way that I can't. I've just agreed to just never talk about politics with him, but I'll stay his friend.
Yeah.
I was like, oh god.
Yeah, I
don't know. You can
imagine all those people that voted for Trump and thought that that the election was stolen. And then also, I mean, even on the Democratic side, people who thought Russiagate, there was Russia who helped Trump win, but they didn't see that Hillary Clinton was actually a very horrible candidate. So, I mean, this conversation is deeper than what we can go. I mean, what we can just take in and explain to people, because there's a lot of there's a lot of things that needs to change with the media and people believes, and when they go and do their own research, they are going to go into a rabbit hole of misinformation out there. And I think that's also the internet and people having their own agenda and stuff like that and not getting the right news sources. But again, there's only so much you can do, and you can use your social media to inform the people and tell your views and hopefully try to engage on a even keel conversation or dialogue or debate, I would say.
Yeah, I agree.
And again, don't feel
what?
disappointed if somebody. I mean, I don't think you should feel disappointed, but don't feel like you need to owe people something of trying to rescue them or trying to please them or stuff like that. I think that if somebody's already so far gone, it's nothing you can do, because what you can do is just harm yourself mentally and emotionally, and maybe they'll find the light sometime, some way.
It was amazing that you think about, if it wasn't for social media, we probably wouldn't know what half of these people think about a lot of these topics, because like with a lot of friendship groups, like some people, they just never talk about politics.
Yeah, no, of course.
So
I mean,
you would just never imagine. Like, I always imagine thinking about, like, if you met, I don't know, somebody like Ted Cruz, right? Like, imagine you met him in like a country far away and you didn't know who he was, and he was trying to avoid being a politician, so he's just acting like a normal person, and you met him. What if he's like a super nice guy and like really funny and stuff, and you don't talk about politics, and like, this guy's really cool, and then you find out who he is and you see all what he's like, and you're like, oh, it's such a like a bit of a
wake up.
message in your head. Yeah.
Man, there's a lot of people out there, and there's a lot of people on social media. There's a lot of our, in our circle, people that we don't know how they think. But again, it's tough. It's really tough to say that. And the world is a lot smaller with the internet and globalization. So I think that you just have to be nice to people, and once they show the true color, you just have to find a way to distance yourself without harming yourself and harming others.
Yeah.
And you just have to do whatever it makes you feel good. That's the most important thing, and feel the things you feel good, and your ideals is the best part. If you share with somebody something, you don't have to talk with him, or maybe just like, okay, feel, but it's not you have to feel very, very, very good what you think and your ideals.
Yeah, I think that's probably the most important takeaway from all this, is it's about how you feel afterwards as well. Like, if you think you're doing the right thing and then you don't feel great about it afterwards, then you didn't do the right thing. Okay, well, I think that's a good stopping point. I think we covered quite a wide range of things, and I got some interesting information and viewpoints. I am announcing that I will remain friends with both of you, given your views from this conversation.
Thank you.
You've made the cut, guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah.
I made the bracket.
Yeah.
Top 16 now. Hey, I want to say thank you for everybody who tuned in today. I want to give a big shout out to Melody, who's our loyal follower, a loyal friend. She also made the cut.
Yeah.
And for any of you guys who are tuning in after the show was live or recorded, please subscribe to the channel. Please like this video. Ring the bell so you get notified when we go live, if you guys want to watch this live, or when we upload a new video. Thank you for being here, and I hope to see you guys soon. Aldo, you guys want to add anything?
See you next week.
Thank you.
Subscribe.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.